All right, welcome folks. We are live and be a slightly different stream today. We're gonna be casting the Major League Balatro match between Neato and Nandre, which should be started here in just a few minutes. Alerts will be off during the cast as usual, so don't give me money. But we're going to be joining Sizak here in the booth in just a few moments as well to co-commentate this game. This is week 6. My match is tomorrow. So lots of MLB content this week. And, or MLBA, I guess I should say. But I think we're just waiting for Neato at this point. She did mention in the Discord that she's running a little bit late, but speaking of the Discord, I am going to hop in and start talking with Sizak. So I will not be interacting directly with you. You're going to want to direct all of your questions to the nearest trash can. I don't care. All right. See you.
Because I don't know, I'm not sure how.
Hello.
Like Oh, hello. How's it
How
going?
are you doing today? Sorry, I just kind of barged in there.
No, you're good. I mean, I was sitting there, unmuted in the VC. That's you know how it goes. Vagabond earlier hopped in while I was mid game because I forgot to leave because I've just been here since I casted the last one, and then I didn't realize that, and then Vagabond just started talking to me about my decisions in game.
I got a little jump scared before my match last week when Gothic jumped in. I was locked in on a practice run, and he jumped in and
Yeah.
caught me by surprise.
Nice.
Well, it's been a long day for you. I saw you were casting earlier today.
Yeah.
What was that match? I was watching the Bear Scooty one, unfortunately, so I didn't catch yours.
Nice. Yeah. That was that match was HC Justin versus Mouth was that one.
Oh, that would have been a good. I should have watched that one. That would have been a fun one to watch.
It was pretty good. Yeah. It was fun to cast as well.
Well, obviously you weren't able to catch the Scooty Bear one, but that was a banger match too. So if you get a chance,
Okay, nice.
And everyone watching at home, definitely check out the VOD on that one because I'm sure every single one of you was watching Sizak's cast as well during that time.
Yeah, that'll be. I will be watching it because Phantom and I do the recaps, and I'm in charge of checking out things for my division. So okay. I will definitely be seeing that one.
Yeah, it was especially the third match was real tight, but there's some close matches throughout. I didn't see every single minute of the match, but every time I looked over, it was neck and neck. So
nice, that's always fun.
It does look like I don't know if you saw, but Neato did mention she's running maybe 5 minutes late, so we may be getting a late start, which I'm sure you were hoping to get this done quickly. You've been live for like going on 4 hours now, right?
Well, the thing is, I don't know if you've heard about the pizza tour, but it's like a multiplayer league thing. Mm-hmm. I have my match for that after this as well, so this isn't even the last thing I'm doing today.
Oh no.
That
doesn't sound like good planning. What we're
Well, yeah, maybe I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. It was like my opponent for the week asked, like, after I already had these two things scheduled, like, hey, could we do Tuesday? I'm like, I mean, the timing lines up, like I can do it right after this, but yeah.
All right, well, hopefully. Well, it looks like Neato is starting up, so we won't have to wait too much longer.
Okay, sweet. Get that refresh and full screen in there.
Make sure that Oops. All right. We've got both perspectives. Just a matter of getting them in game now.
Yep.
So this is a match in my division, which is separate from yours, and this is
right.
A couple of players that are maybe, not in the position they'd like to be in at this stage in the season, right? Nandre previously has done quite well, making playoffs at least the first season, if not both of the original 2 seasons. Not able to really find his footing this season. I think some of the rule changes have made it less easy for him to get that advantage on Plasma deck, which he's leveraged really well in the past. Yeah. And then on top of that, just like other people have gotten a little bit better at Plasma deck in preparation for mostly him, which has been a bit difficult. So still not out of the playoff picture just yet for Nandre, so needs to start tacking on some wins as we see him like warming up and practicing right now.
Yeah.
And then
I think also another thing too is the new players to your guys' division. Some of the new players, Vagabond and Feinberg, are both very strong players, so some extra hard competition there.
Yeah, that's not like it's not even mentioning Bean, who hasn't not even lost a match, hasn't lost a game yet. So definitely some steep competition, especially at the very top. But then there are those maybe 4 through 6 slots that will get you into playoffs that are still up for grabs. I'm in that same area, and those are not secure spots right now because there is a lot of depth to that to both divisions, really. So on the other side of things, Neato also not necessarily performing to the level that she has in past seasons. She's definitely a very competent, skilled player, but especially when she really locks in and focuses and gets those reps in, has really in the past demonstrated that she's a very skilled player, but maybe hasn't shown that this season just yet. Has a few tendencies to maybe lock in and overcommit even to early game jokers, instead of where in the past she would know to rotate off of those. And maybe hurting her confidence a little bit, she's always a very measured player that takes her time, but like maybe seeming a little bit more uncertain this season in some of the decisions than in previous seasons. So hopefully we can see a return to form for both of these players, to their season 1 and 2 forms, where they were, taking down not only games but match wins throughout the season.
I see. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see it. Good to have the additional perspective on it, because like I've hardly seen anything since I've got to watch all 5 sets every week for the Bloodstone division. I've seen very little of what's been going on in the Onyx division. So
yeah, things. It's very easy when you're participating to just kind of like focus in on the division that you're worried about, because those are your opponents, and that's like your standings that you have to keep an eye on. So definitely understand that. I don't know what's going over on your side of things. I guess Zeno and Doc Spectred are pretty good. I don't know. Who knew?
They're popping off. Yeah. Yeah. Very strong players.
All right. So we do.
Well, it's cool to get a.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say it's cool to get a chance to cast with you. Your videos with Doc and with Raren multiplayer are actually how I found out about multiplayer in the first place. So it's pretty cool to.
Oh, nice. That was don't go back and watch those now though. those are probably a nightmare to try and revisit.
I mean, everyone's learned so much. Like I played when I first was playing, I'm sure luckily my first times playing are lost in the void. No one can find those, not even myself. So
okay, yeah, it's something we we all go through. I think the entire, I mean, you could even look at season 1 of Major League Balatro, where some clown managed to win somehow, and to now where the quality of play has just increased significally over the course of maybe like a year and a half, and I'm sure that's very true on throughout the multiplayer community as well. Like the quality of play is like at a whole different level than when the mod initially came out and people were just kind of trying to translate single player over, like I was. Yeah, 100%.
It's way different. I mean, I even see in the, when I play ranked, it used to be like early on in the season when I'm playing the lower ranked players, I just don't even have to like try that hard. But now, even at the start of the season, when I'm down in the lower ranks, because it resets, I have to be on my toes, because almost everyone that you go up against has some level of skill at multiplayer.
Yeah, and if nothing else, they've got the flowchart to follow, so.
True. There is that. We do have that over there.
All right, it does look like we're going to get the lobby set up here, so we should be in-game here in no time at all. We've got red deck black stake as the set deck and stake for the first match, which, pretty vanilla still. We've had black stake before, I thought, or maybe it's just a very popular choice from a lot of these competitors. So it's not uncommon that we see black deck. We've definitely seen red deck in this initial game. We saw red deck white stake, I think, week 1. So we're pretty vanilla here again, aside from the addition of Eternal Jokers, which, can really make you, have a hard time deciding what route to go early on. You have to either commit or be willing to look for a better option later. So it does add a nice little wrinkle to some of these.
Yeah, and honestly, I think black stake for me is the hardest one to work with the Eternal Jokers, because I feel like sometimes on purple or gold you can just be a little bit more aggressive and you can take a value generator or like a halfway decent scoring Joker on Eternal and be okay. But on black, you've got to be really careful about the Eternals that you take.
Right. As you increase the stakes beyond black, you're bound to be making some sort of compromise anyway. So like one Eternal that's maybe marginal is a little bit easier to say, okay, I'm probably going to get at most 4 capable Jokers anyway because of the increased stakes. I might as well just take this Eternal. It's a little bit harder to do black and lower because you're barely beyond just the white stake scaling, as we do see launching right into the game here 2 investment tags early. Obviously investment tag anti-1 is one of your best skips, but how do you feel about 2 back-to-back like this?
I don't know. I would be tempted to take them both, but I think I kind of like what Nandre did here. Take the first one. You've got less money out of that first blind, and you just want to see at least one shop, at least see that, that first buffoon pack, get something out of there. I think that's probably more valuable than another 25 when we already get that first 25.
Yeah, I do. I tend to agree that I'd like to take one. If we weren't on red deck, though, or if we were maybe a slightly higher stake, I might be inclined to take the first one just so that you can breeze by in one hand. You don't get the interest or the extra reward money because it is above red stake, but you do run less of a risk of just kind of dying here. So
it's fair.
You're going to see the same shop no matter which one you skip. I might take the easier blind to beat and then skip the big blind afterwards because the money comes at the same time either way.
Yeah, and there's also, if you do the second one, if there's like an overstock that you need to be able to afford, you can just say, okay, never mind, we're not taking these investment skips and we're just going to play it out and make sure we get that.
True. Yeah, you get a little bit more information as well as a little bit safer line. But we do see Nandre going the opposite route. We'll see what's in this buffoon pack, and maybe that ends up rewarding both players. It is reroll glut or reroll. Whatever the first instances of that as the voucher, so not a high priority pick. But it is important to see these buffoon packs, because if you don't see them now, you're never going to get this Bull or Mad Joker again for the rest of the run. Unfortunately.
That would be tragic.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. So maybe a slight punish here for both of these players. Ended up both taking one of the skips instead of two. The reward is the lowly Mad Joker, which will at least make the goad a little bit less sketchy.
Yeah. I will say, I actually personally, reroll voucher to me is the second most important voucher that you can take. So I honestly, on Nandre's side, we had that $10. I would have heavily considered just taking reroll voucher go next. I know it's a little bit risky going into the boss blind, but the extra $2 off on every single reroll on black stake and below, usually we end up being decently strong in terms of econ later in the game, and that can just add up to so much throughout the game.
That is true, and Neato maybe had a similar consideration where you're paying a lot more than what Nandre would in not taking the investment tag skip, but both players could have ended up prioritizing that reroll voucher, and instead neither player grabs it here. But so we're kind of on even playing field. We've got two standard packs. This is another thing that I've noticed with Neato early on, is not prioritizing these standard packs and missing certain cards, especially seals, can really set you behind if you don't find them. Not necessarily the blue seal, but red, purple, and even gold seals can be very high value in PvP, especially if you get plenty of retriggers.
Yeah, I think that the gold seal... Did Nandre take the gold seal? Did we take I think we took the lucky 10 over it, which is surprising to me. I think gold seal is probably more valuable than the lucky card, especially on a face card.
Right, there's an argument to getting, progress in that lucky card queue, because that, one $20 hit is a lot of gold seal plays, right? But, taking that guaranteed money, especially early, it does look like Nandre picked up the lucky card. So you're correct there, but getting that guaranteed money, especially on a card that you're likely wanting to retrigger anyway in the form of that king, is a tough call to make.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's more money on average too. Like, yeah, it could, in certain circumstances, like you said, it definitely, the $20 hit eclipses the $3, of course, but on average for every trigger, it's like what, $1.2 or something versus $3. So.
Right, yet another standard pack available here, and already a tough decision. That Cartomancer early, no-brainer pickup in most instances when you have the Joker set up, because tarot cards are so helpful. But it being Eternal just is a tough pill to swallow there.
Yeah, I think it's too. I think maybe on gold stake or even purple you could take it, but I think that taking it on black stake is a bit too low stakes for me to be happy with an Eternal Cartomancer.
I agree with that 100%. We see Nandre already making use of this death on a purple seal, gonna hopefully get a lot more deaths off of that in the future, and immediately makes use of that sun card as well to unlock flush houses. Going to be in a very, very strong position here, although chooses not to, even with the blue seal in hand. Maybe banking a little bit too much on that. That Mad Joker matters a lot less if you're able to reliably hit your flush houses. I would trade 2 levels of 2 pair for 1 level of flush house, just because the flush house is the hand that I care about scaling for the late game.
100%. Yeah.
But still has those resources, already has drawn a flush house, even if he chose not to play it, has the capacity to make that for the PvP rounds and put up a big number in the process, while also, having some late game potential with those extra purple seals to continue chaining deaths, get more sun cards, get more, capacity to make that flush house.
Yeah, and the lovers will make it a little bit easier as well, because if you just use 1 sun card, finding that flush house again is really difficult. And it still is going to be a bit difficult here, but lovers makes it way more likely.
Yeah, and we see the death a little bit stranded here for Neato. Maybe didn't find that purple seal is really, you can see, you know, it's not a big thing, but has rolled an additional time in the shop. But those additional times in the shop without that reroll voucher are a lot of money that cost about the same amount as your standard packs, which can get you those resources that actually allow you to scale into late game. I do like, you know, the maybe rolling down a little bit more here, just because that could be a way that you could get ahead or up a joker on your opponents. But we can see the lack of purple seals with this fancy new deck view is going to be a big hurdle for her to overcome.
Yeah. Is Nandre way ahead in stream for you too, or is that just me?
You know, I didn't notice. I was too busy staring at the deck. I was watching I was meat watching on Nandre's side, unfortunately. So I did not catch that.
Either way, I refresh to be sure. But yeah, and I think, and like you said, I think you know, you noted that Neato doesn't take the standard packs as often. I don't think we got the purple seal on Neato's side.
Yeah, there is no purple seal on Neato's side, and there's 2 on Nandre's, already getting, you know, pretty good value off of those, with a Hermit and an Emperor queued up. Going to be a matter of when and how he wants to use those, but you know, he's in a pretty good position here to, even if this blind or this PvP escapes him, you know, is much better suited for the late game than Neato is right now.
Yeah, for sure. And I do think that there is a good chance Neato might have this one, unless we can hit the, well, I mean, we've already got a pretty decent hand there, but unless we can hit the flush house on Nandre's side, I feel like with the extra, well, I guess we're only up the banana. I don't know. It could go either way, I think.
Yeah, there's maybe if Nandre does just kind of commit to these 2 pairs, those extra couple levels in Uranus might do something. But
yeah,
really, with the scary face and with all these face cards in hand, you want to be playing the full house like this anyway. So
yeah,
you know, good recognition there to, you know, avoid I think the mistake that was made earlier in locking in on 2 pair just because it's a convenient hand to level, and instead, you know, playing towards the bigger hand, which one big hand can often trump 3 to 4 small hands in a PvP blind, especially.
Yeah, and we also got the double lucky hit, both money and molt on Nandre's side, which is absolutely huge here.
Yeah, and you know, that 10 early missed, but it did set up those lucky cards to hit here. So
yeah,
you know, that's what we're talking about with that lucky card queue. It starts to matter after a while. And you know, this death still just not finding a good target on Neato's side here. Just because, you know, the lack of sealed cards is really showing right now.
Yeah, we just don't have a super great card to copy. Like, we've got this blue seal ace, but I don't think that's worth it. Like, no. I mean, I honestly don't mind just holding the death here. We don't at least get like a lucky or a gold or a steal or something,
right?
Probably before we use it.
I agree, and it's like, you know, Nandre is able to freely use them. I believe he's also, in addition to the purples, up a red seal jack from opening those packs, which is, again...
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, going to be... you know, Nandre definitely has the red seal. I don't think that that Neato picked it up. And...
this PvP is going to be really close.
Yeah, Nandre still needs to hit probably a 2-pair plus here. Going to need... I would like to see some deck checking here, just as it almost doesn't matter what hand it is. Maybe there was a deck check before the hand was sent, but okay, gonna make use of this strength.
Yeah,
and
we could do a... oh,
yep, unlocking the flush house now. So again, just complete course correction from that blind situation earlier in the big blind, where had the opportunity to make the flush house, passed on it. Now, you know, changing course because it is a PvP round, and making good use of the tarots and getting some progress in series already.
Yeah, and I think Yeah, especially winning the PvP with the deck advantage that we have, I think puts Nandre in a very strong position here.
Right, right. That's definitely, like, from his perspective, you know, that first PvP, he doesn't know it, obviously, but from our perspective, it wouldn't really matter that much if Nandre lost the first PvP, just because his deck, like you said, is so far ahead in terms of the setup. But now taking a life and having a lead in terms of the deck, really in a good position. And another sealed card that's just up for Nandre in that Polychrome Gold Seal 10. That's just...
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a great card.
Right. If you just look at the seal counter on the right side of your screen versus the left side of the screen, this is what I was talking about earlier when I was saying, you know, Neato has, this season in particular, has a history of devaluing those standard packs, and that's the result here is Ray being up a blue, 2 purples, 1 red, and a gold seal. That's a lot of ground to make up.
Every seal. The only one we got on Neato's side is blue, which is...
Right. You know. And with those purples, that lead is going to compound quickly, too, because those purples generate deaths, they generate strengths, they generate more suit fixers. So there's a big opening now, in addition to a pretty hefty econ advantage on Nandre's side as well.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, the banana does break in tandem. There's a quick blueprint.
All right.
Honestly, maybe not.
Doesn't do much yet. But...
Yeah, like, doesn't do too much yet just because it doesn't have anything great to copy, but also is so early in the shop that both players are going to see it. So I think that's why we maybe saw a bit of a wince there from Nandre. Just... not sure that this was the time that he wanted to see it, I think.
Yeah.
Because unless something catastrophic happens here on Neato's side, she's going to find that pretty quickly, too. It maybe not necessarily this shop, but the next shop for sure. It should just be right there as soon as she loads into the shop.
Yeah. You sound a bit robotic, but I think it's on my end. I think my internet or my computer is struggling to keep up with all the things that got open at once, especially I've been running for a little while now. Oh boy.
Okay, it might be on my end too, because my YouTube stream specifically is having some issues, but hopefully
I was getting that too. Maybe YouTube's just having trouble. We can blame it on YouTube.
Okay, let's do that. So there's the blueprint for Neato. Not a surprise here.
Yeah.
Or at least not a surprise for us. She's ecstatic to see it. But
yeah.
And you know, there is that sun card in the shop on Nandre's side. He has been focusing a lot on making spades, which is fine. You know, you don't know what your on-scoring effect is going to be, though. So I do like, you know, unless I'm given direction otherwise, having the capacity to build towards hearts, and so that's why you'll see him pick this up. I think that's a good read from his end to just snag that when it's available. And maybe even at the cost of some of these spades, it could be worth shifting towards hearts, especially with the death available. As you see him do here, this is, I think, a good read, good recognition from Nandre in this spot.
Yeah, I think I agree with it. It can be really hard sometimes balancing going for hearts versus going for the thing that is more readily available early, because, you know, for idle, maybe it's better that you just stick to the suit you've already been building into and build into it more heavily. But Bloodstone is, you know, very can be very strong if it shows up, and especially if it shows up on idle doesn't.
Yeah, and we do see a bit of a punish there from Nandre not preserving the Fool and instead taking a copy of Uranus and blocking the death from the Fool. That Fool should be a death right now, unfortunately. But big hit here as Nandre snags an invisible Joker that Neato just did not see as a result of being almost $100 down in econ right now.
Yeah, that is very rough for Neato. That is very rough for Neato, especially because, like, we don't even, our Jokers aren't that good. So as long as we don't see something that we're like care more about in the next shop, if we can, you know, if Nandre can hold his money for a bit and be ready to roll down a little bit and find some kind of scoring, we could just force the invis to copy the blueprint, which is just an insane position to be in, especially up on lives as well.
Yeah, because there, like you said, there's no good or better option for it right now, right? So you know, it's very easy to isolate that blueprint, make sure you get 2 copies. Is like pretty much the first real scoring option that you see that works with your build even slightly. I'm selling everything and that invisible, getting the blueprint ×2, and you know, enjoying a pretty good lead on my opponent as a result.
Yeah. And heck, even with like a decent econ joker, like Nandre's got enough levels that we've been building up on several different hands that we might be okay to get away with not going with any scoring jokers. That's a little bit risky, but
I mean, even with some of those flush house levels in particular, if you can start making those from the blue seals as well as drawing them a little bit more consistently, you know, that's going to decrease the need for jokers, at least in terms of scoring, if you're able to, you know, reliably make that hand and level that hand.
Yeah.
It does miss the purple on the discards. Unfortunately, even red deck sometimes does run out of discards. This is news to me, but
yep.
didn't quite hold out enough for these either of these 2 purples, unfortunately.
I guess +1 is not infinite.
That's news to me. I don't know. It feels like, coming from Gold Stake, it feels like it. You know, even just going from 2 to 3 is a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we do see Neato finally making use of this death. That's going to free her up to find deaths moving forward. I don't think that there have been many other than that 1 tarot pack so far. But, you know, still not quite the quality of card that Nandre has been deathing just yet.
What did she end up deathing? I had to like refresh to catch up, and I think the death happened when I was refreshing.
It was the that Molt King that she has in hand right now.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's something at least, and this one will be. I think we would have wanted to copy Scary Face with a blueprint there. Could have been a better score, I think.
I think so too. Just because you have 2 Molt options, and you know, really want to balance that out with some chips, especially if you're, you know, maybe a little bit more lacking in the levels compared to Nandre. We can see Nandre, you know, locking in pretty consistently on that Scary Face. I don't know if it's necessarily the best copy for every hand, but for, you know, you get enough face cards in there, and if you have like multiple Molt Jokers like Neato does, it makes a little bit more sense to throw in some chips alongside it.
Yeah, because Nandre had actually, I feel like it was actually probably the +10 on 2 pair. What's that one called? Is it Mad Joker?
Yeah.
Whatever that guy is.
All right, very
really
close here.
Course here.
Yeah, if Neato can, well, I mean, she already has the 2 pair. She's likely to take this here with the.
Yeah, I think so.
I think just a result of I mean, when not playing the face cards, at least, just that extra bit of Molt on her side over Nandre ended up paying off.
Yeah.
So an aggressive line here does get rewarded, at least in terms of 1 life, but again, Nandre's still in a commanding position with this invisible queued up.
Yeah. Like this is a good win for Neato, but it's very likely, you know, things are still very much in Nandre's favor.
Yes. Yeah, this is the luxury of taking that first round, and the importance of taking that first round is that you're now, you know, you're less pressured when you do lose this second PvP, where, you know, your opponent maybe is taking that tempo line. If it fails on, you know, even 1 round there, that can be pretty punishing. Yeah.
I think I've started to notice that compared to the ranked multiplayer rule set, the combination of glass and not having the order makes early lives, I think, so much more important because, you know, you never know, like things can shift so much between those two things.
Right. Like, you can't just sit back on an econ advantage because you don't know when the good jokers are going to come. If you aren't, you know, maybe playing a little bit more aggressively than you would with the order, you might be the one to miss out on the key joker if you're, you know, if you're just hoarding money like a dragon.
Yeah. I think I do like taking this rough gem here. I don't think we're really built into diamonds, but at the same time, just having an econ joker we can copy with blueprint is really nice to have. That's $10 if you can play any diamond flush at all.
Yeah, I would have liked to see that on Nandre's side, especially because that red seal jack, I believe, is wild right now, which can, you know, just playing that alone can get you some decent money. Probably, you know, expect to get hit a little bit more than even on the gold joker if it's paired with just 1 or 2 additional diamonds, just because, like you said, it's compatible with blueprint, which, you know, not every econ joker is.
Okay, we're going for it with the half joker.
That's
my gosh.
Okay. Well, obviously you take this smiley face here because you need scoring. But we do desperately need scoring at the same time. I think this popcorn just has to come with us. Like, I know it's I know it's not Dune themed or whatever, but like you gotta bring that with you. And gets rewarded with a clever joker as well. So immediately, you know, once these blueprints and brainstorms decide to actually copy something, we're in a great spot for like actually getting some decent scoring.
Yeah. It would be really funny if this is just the driest seed ever and like Neato just wins due to having like more jokers to like balance out the chips and molt versus having blueprint brainstorm. I mean, it's like almost never gonna happen, but
no, this is that invisible is kind of a demonstration of part of what we were talking about. Now, obviously, the reason that Nandre found it was because he's so far ahead on econ. But those are, you know, that invisible is just never going to be seen by Neato. Another one might show up later, but Nandre could see that too. And so those type of situations are why those early lives matter so much, because again, you don't know when that joker that could be a gap in your scoring is going to show up. And it just happened to be when Nandre had a big econ advantage and was able to roll down more aggressively there.
Yeah. And that's a good point about Invis. I guess Invis is even more punishing to miss than other things because, you know, like you said, you can just find it again.
Right. Yeah, that's a huge pickup here from Nandre. You know, going to be banking on all those blue seal levels, up to 3 blue seals now. I think that's maybe a little bit excessive for a black stake run, but like that's where a large portion of the scoring is coming from. And one of those blue seals was a death target that, you know, is a card that he's wanting to play in the form of a Jack of Hearts anyway. So there's a lot going for Nandre right now. I wouldn't hate this reserve parking, especially since he's now up a Cavendish too. Obviously, that's news to him, but just up a Cavendish. Neato missed the Brainstorm too. The Brainstorm was in a Buffoon pack, so that's just a big miss on her end too, because there is no reason not to be opening those Buffoon packs. You can make an argument for standard packs in some cases, but missing a Buffoon pack is just, you get punished like this if that happens.
Yeah, you always got to open Buffoon packs. It regardless of like almost anything, deck, stake, rule set, you don't want to skip Buffoon packs.
Right. Like that's, I mean, if nothing else, it just, you've seen a minimum of 2 jokers is better than most shop rerolls. Without, you know, especially with no overstock in play, there's no reason to prioritize rerolling a shop over taking a Buffoon pack. All right, Nandre does pass on the reserve parking. don't hate it going into the PvP because you don't know that your opponent missed the Brainstorm and the Cavendish. From our perspective, obviously, it's a pretty big missed opportunity, but you know, there's no way that Nandre could know how far ahead he is right now.
That's true, but at 3 lives and with how little the Clever's doing right now, like if we've got a flush house, or I think even
a full house.
I mean, and we've got the Hierophant up top too for some extra chips. Like the Clever's really not doing that much compared to 4 copies of reserve parking could be so much money.
And a level 9 2-pair as well. Like you're already getting 250 chips before the card score, before the Clever Joker. Like this Clever Joker is just, bro thinks he's part of the team, but he's not doing anything.
Yeah, it's like, we're doing 2 pairs. This is the spot for me.
Yeah, and this is something that you know, we've seen occasionally, or I've seen occasionally in both divisions. Just, you know, maybe locking in a little bit too much on somewhat superficial synergy, not really recognizing where exactly your scoring is coming from. And, you know, very experienced Balatro players will know that the reason that 2-pair is a relevant hand at all is because it scales so aggressively in the chip department, so that you don't need chip jokers like a Clever.
Right. Yeah, 100%. That being said, I mean, things are going so well for Nandre that I don't think we need them. But that does give an opportunity for Neato to get back in this game, right? Because I think that, you know, Neato's the only one with an Econ Joker right now. If she can use that and end up getting ahead in money, we could end up seeing some really important things that Nandre can't. You know, if we get Photo Chat and Nandre doesn't, I feel like that could put us back in the game.
Absolutely. And not even just this week, but this is something that, you know, you're going to want to, if Nandre wants to get back up into that top 6 in order to make playoffs, these types of plays, you know, need to be shored up a little bit. And these types of decisions need to be shored up a little bit, because it is a deep division on both sides, and you are going to need to, you know, get every advantage that you can in every situation that you can.
Right. Yeah.
Now, there is a Seance showing up in the shop. Nandre has a lot of hearts, and he has a Joker that is not useful in the form of a Clever Joker. That could be an opportunity to widen this gap and make sure that, like you said, Neato doesn't get an econ advantage and find a way back into this game. Really locking in on this Clever Joker, though. I don't think that necessarily Seance was a reliable pick, but that's something that you could very easily high roll into, and you know, Spectrals are hard to come by with 4 discards, 6 hands. If you even have the capacity with your deck to make a straight flush, you're going to draw it, right?
Right. Yeah, that is. We can take the discard voucher, go up to 6 and 5. Yeah, it's. I think that Seance is something that is a little bit undervalued in Major League. I've seen in general. I think that people don't realize just how game-breaking the Spectrals can be.
I agree. As somebody that has criminally underrated it many times, but like you said, especially since, you know, turns out not every game this season is played on Ghost deck, so finding a way to get those Spectral cards is valuable. And you know what? Reserve parking came back around anyway. Nandre read the script, able to pick it up off of a random judgment, and now, you know, maybe able to keep pace with Neato's rough gem here, or outpace it actually, because of the 2 additional copy jokers just does so much for just finding any joker that can be copied that gets you econ is such a big deal for PvP like this, where you really need to get your money going, which, you know, Nandre has the econ lead but needs to keep it.
Yeah, but we're gonna sell out of it for an Eternal Chad, which that's so hard. I think that's the right move, but I
think it is too, especially with how many luckies are in play, and it just, you know, it is sort of more of a nod to the future than it is an immediate consideration here, right? Because he doesn't need the score. But you know, it is something that you'll want to have if your on-scoring effect shows up, whether it's Photograph, whether it's Ancient Joker, whether it's the Idol. Those are all things you're looking for anyway. So, you know, having that ready to go if those show up is probably a good bet here.
It's also just a little bit... It's just a little bit scary too, though, taking the Eternal Chad when, like, you know, what if Dusk and Idol shows up and we have double Blueprint Brainstorm?
True. I mean, you know, that said, there isn't... Ooh, not copying the chat is a lot of money lost here. But with a 3 lives to 2 lead, there's no guarantee that those jokers do show up.
Yeah.
Does also have a Polychrome card, which, you know, gives a slight nod to a Polychrome Gold Seal at that gives a slight nod to the Chad, on top of just, you know, glass being readily available in Major League Balatro rules. You know, it's a tough call. You might, you know, if it goes late, you might be selling out of this Brainstorm. Luckily, you're ahead on copy jokers anyway, so you can give one up.
Yep, and there's the photo.
Yep. I think this is where Nandre is going to wish that he had maybe played a little bit harder into that flush house, though, because the starting point for 2-pair especially is not great on the mult side. We did say it scales great for chips, quite a bit less so when it comes to the mult side of things. So going to want to start shifting gears towards flush house, and even just a full house would be a better look than 2-pair right now. But Nandre disagrees.
Yeah. 2-pair is definitely easy to hit. We do have a lot of levels in it, but flush house just feels like so much more potential. And I think we have the deck fixing, especially with the extra hand as discards, that it's not too terribly hard to find those flush houses.
All right, Neato does see the hanging Chad here. Going to have a hard time rolling towards that Photograph, though, and will just be potentially down yet another key joker. Does have $40, so maybe in a spot where I don't remember exactly how many rolls it was, but you know, Nandre is about 4 rolls ahead still, so it's going to be, she's going to need to roll pretty aggressively here, which she has been doing, and it has been you know, something that I was maybe a little bit critical of her in past rounds, hoarding money a little bit too much, especially when behind. I think that I am seeing her do a good job of, you know, having some urgency in the Joker department, especially with an Econ Joker, especially behind on lives here.
Yeah, I think I'm a believer in hoarding money more than most, but sometimes you gotta... This last reroll is hard because, like, I mean, we know she needs to take it. That might be the one that she needs to get the photo, but honestly, if I'm here, I probably don't take that last reroll.
We've got another shop. We're fine. I do think it was a little bit further beyond that, so so I don't think that reroll would have done it, but I do think that there's a decent chance she's able to find the photo now, that there is a whole nother shop available.
Yeah. Especially if we make some good use out of the Blueprint Chad Rough Gem. I mean, that's just on a high card diamonds. That's just $6.
Right, and did already make some diamonds going in, but passed on a diamond already and is just going to throw this hand, maybe a little bit rushed by the clock. The first clock hit doesn't take a life, but, you know, you don't want to you don't want to be on 1 life with a clock that could kill you necessarily.
Yeah, it's fair.
And also, Neato, you know, very different than Nandre right now. Maybe a little bit concerned about the scoring just because of the lack of copy effects. Does have quite a few extra hands though, so there's no reason not to, you know, farm these diamonds. Especially if you're already playing them in a 2-pair, you're gonna want to get those diamonds up front because your score is already covered here.
Yeah. And especially with like how low that timer is, I think at this point we just need to accept that we're taking the free timer to 0.
Yes, because that's just not enough time to shop here, so you can take your time. You can really get use of that rough gem here.
Not even putting the diamond first, unfortunately.
No, and just, ooh, maybe gets out of there. I would have liked to see just the life loss and doesn't get the photo as a result of, playing against the timer there. And we see Nandre immediately drawing that red seal. That red seal is gigantic with, triple photograph available to you. But really, Nandre says 2 pairs got me here. I'm going to keep rolling with 2 pairs. I don't care that I have a full house, which probably still scores more at this point. I've got 2 pairs are the way, and you know what? Putting up close to $1 billion in the process.
Yeah, I mean it works, but I do feel like if Neato had the same jokers and was building into flush house, then that could definitely be backfiring on Nandre here.
Yeah, and we do see, I think this is okay. We're gonna see a flush house from Neato. I think this is just a matter of being rushed by the timer in the previous blinds, knowing that she needs to farm this rough gem, but maybe not doing so in the blinds because of that clock ticking. That's a pretty big distraction when you kind of have that in the back of your mind and are, concerned about just getting through, getting these hands off is a little bit tough on her side.
Yeah. Yeah, we will at least be getting some good money here. But not on the +20 yet.
Yeah, not perfect, but definitely, better than we were in the blinds here. Does have to play these all out, which, again, if you're making use of the rough gem, it ends up being a bit of a blessing to force you to play out these hands. A lot of times we'll see players rushing to, if they know they're going to lose, to finish their hand so that their opponent can't farm. Neato getting all of the time in the world right now to farm this rough gem.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've noticed still continuing to not put the diamonds first unless they already happen to be first. Maybe not realizing that interaction, but still making some good money for sure.
Yeah, I think it's maybe just focusing on certain other aspects rather than maximizing money, which is surprising because she did do such a good job of it on the first hand that it, maybe fell out of mind here. And important to see. Yeah. Not relevant here, but it is important to see that players are now more than capable of seeing every card in their deck. So, if an idol becomes available for Nandre in particular, that's an easy pickup over the photograph. It's just photograph with upside. Yeah.
Yeah, the number of not only were we on red deck, but we've got both hand vouchers and discard vouchers. It's kind of been insane.
Yeah, unfortunately, despite a very big econ lead here in this particular ante for Neato, which normally would give you maybe an opportunity to come back, there's just so much that she's behind on right now that it's, I don't know. Unless she has the world's greatest shop, unless she has a vagabond after a D6 tag level of set of shops here, I don't know that it's that it's going to happen. Just because there's so much ground to make up. Maybe with like an idle dusk or an idle sock that Nandre doesn't see, just because $60 to 31 is a pretty big difference. If those 2 jokers show up late in these rolls, that could be a big deal. Neato does also have the opportunity to make a lot of money in these rounds with that rough gem.
Yeah, for sure. It's not likely that Neato comes back here, but there's 100% outs. It's definitely not over here.
Right.
I've seen worse. I think I've probably even seen people come back. Well, maybe.
I mean, we saw the situation with the invisible joker. If there's something like an idol plus a sock or a dusk in those same like depth of the shop, that is absolutely a spot where Neato can make up some ground. I don't know that it'll be enough necessarily, just because again, with the red seal, with the triple copies, the photo chat is doing a lot of work on Nandre's side. But there is a route here, especially as we just saw her pick up some glass that could be, you know, a good use for this death card. That's making some progress already and can help if she's able to find those Joker resources as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it would need to be like an idol with a decent hit even, because like just 3 copy Jokers with photo chat is just really hard. You need some, like, it's definitely beatable. It is not the best thing that you can do in multiplayer, but it is very strong. You need some real power to contend with that. And Nandre is not going to be too far behind in money with these gold seals. I think we could put the gold seal first. We don't.
Yeah, you definitely want to put the gold seal first,
sure.
Especially like, what's the point of copying the triple copying the chat if you're not putting the gold seal first? I guess he showed me with that money hit.
just trust the money. We'd rather have one more copy on the lucky than all those repeats on the gold seal, because just want those money hits.
Yeah, I guess so.
Although I guess it'd be the same amount anyways, because you still get the same number of triggers on unluckies. So.
Right. So there's just, you know, you definitely, again, isn't going to matter too much here because of the lead that he's in. But if Nandre again wants to make a push for that top 6, those are the type of plays that can separate you from your opponents and make you a playoff level competitor. Yeah, for sure. I think both players just need to real, like, Chad is a scoring Joker, but Chad is also an econ Joker. It is one of the best econ Jokers there is. Exactly.
Luckies, so many things.
And very critically, that was 0 extra lucky card triggers as a result of copying the Chad, right? Because those cards trigger the same number of times anyway. So it is just missed value to not put the gold seal first.
Yeah, it's missed like what, 3 times? It's missed $24 of value, I think, actually.
And Neato finds the brainstorm. I don't think it's gonna matter, but like, again, those are the gaps that Nandre is potentially leaving open with those types of plays, right? Like, he has the capacity to keep pace with her rough gem, especially if she's not fully utilizing it. But that's the door that you leave open by leaving money on the table.
Do we have another shop still for Neato, or is this the last shop? We still have one shop, right? Yeah. So I think that if Neato can make a ton of money here, and like I said earlier, the problem with the Chaz, it makes one less Joker slot. So like, if we find photo and say like a retrigger Joker, even like the amount that we need with the brainstorm now back in the lineup is a little bit less than we needed before. So that definitely opens things up for Neato for sure.
And I don't
take a lot. We're gonna go.
Yeah, I don't know that Nandre saw the glass card. I'm not sure where that was and what was chosen over it. I believe it was in a tarot pack that I can't imagine that Nandre missed. So there must have just been maybe something was blocking it. But like having the glass available with with another shop available too, that there's still some space for Neato to get back in this, especially with there's I mean the timer's clocking down, but there's plenty of time left. I don't know if she was able to sneak in before the timer went off, so I wouldn't want to risk it on her side.
Yeah, that's scary, because if we know that we did, then definitely here we accept the
right.
I'm guessing Neato thinks she did, because we're taking a little bit of time here.
I think so. It seems that way
with the timer coming down like that. Not playing this one? Oh.
But either way, I mean, the way that she's got to think that she made it through if we're taking this much time here, and you know, I do like. I mean, maybe this is the reward for. Oh, it did not register.
No, she didn't make it. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh.
I think that there was. Oh. I think there was time in both of those to maybe get through before that last tick hits, and still have time to find what you needed. But unfortunately, thinking that she had beat the clock, it was a photo finish. I don't know. I saw it go to 0 right as she was pressing. I don't know which, you know, how it registers that. Unfortunately, I don't think that with the warning hit, I don't think that there's a sound indicator for these players to tell them whether or not it went off. So
yeah,
that's a bit of a bummer. I think it was a really, really tough spot to come back from either way. But
yeah, for sure.
You know, with a slight window left open there, especially when the brainstorm came around, you know, that feels really bad that the timer is what decides it. We've got some glass available as well, probably still at a pretty big disadvantage, but one joker difference, you know, or maybe one shop difference could have closed that gap.
I mean, with the glass, that is, we're only, if we get a photo, then with that glass we're only down the red seal, because that glass is equivalent to the additional photocopy on Nandre's side. So then it just, anything after, we just need a photo and like any good bit of extra scoring, and then Neato would suddenly be in the lead.
Yeah. Unfortunate. Again, difficult hill to climb, but there was an opening there that just closed as a result of the timer. So unfortunate, but you know, those are the rules. The players know the rules, and they've been the rules for 2 seasons now. So
yeah. Was there there was no timer first season, wasn't there?
No, there was not. Fortunately, I don't think we had too many long matches. I think there's just kind of an agreement among players that they would go pretty quickly.
Yeah, for everyone else's sake, it's probably a good thing that I wasn't there.
I mean, we did have Bear as well, and we saw between your the two of your match, you're both playing at competing paces in terms of really making use of that clock, or using every minute of that clock.
Yeah.
Looks like the players are going on to a quick break here. So after losing this match, Neato will have the choice of either wet deck or stake to play, and then Nandre will be able to pick the second. I'm not sure. The one thing I am sure of is that you don't want to pick Plasma against Nandre. So I think with that in mind, I might like to see just pick your favorite deck, or pick a deck that you think you might have an advantage on, and then just let Nandre deal with the stakes, because you do not want to face Nandre on Plasma.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I think usually the stake is the more important one to have the choice on, but with how comfortable Nandre is with Plasma, that might be better just make sure he can't do that. Right.
Unfortunately, Nandre being Nandre and the demon of chaos that he is, he'll probably just pick gold stake, and so if you're not comfortable with gold stake, that might come back to haunt you. He picked gold stake against me, and I had to double check that that's what he actually wanted. But I think he likes to make people uncomfortable in the choices that he makes, and sometimes in the conversations that he has. So
he says some interesting things for sure. Yeah.
So I think that there's not a real easy choice here on either deck or stake.
Yeah. Do you generally prefer the higher stakes?
It depends on who I'm playing against. If I feel like, I've got a fair amount of experience on both high and low stakes. So, if it's a player that maybe like a Bean or a Vagabond, where I know that they've got a lot more multiplayer experience than I do, I know that I probably need to take them to the gold stake to have a chance. Now, unfortunately, that backfired for me against Bean because I tried to take him into a gold stake match to roll around in the muck with me, and they just all turned out to be idle seeds. So I'm sitting there looking at my eternal like slide joker that I'm just looking to beat the blinds with, and he's he's farming idols, and I don't know what's going on with that.
I'm guessing it took you to ghost deck, huh? Give him a little bit of a punch to try to knock it out of gold stake.
It might have been. I think he's a proponent of the yellow deck econ advantage on gold stake as well. I know another popular choice is checkered deck on higher stakes when you want to maybe like lower that skill ceiling a little bit is another common choice.
Yeah, makes sense. And just reliable, strong things to get you off the ground, and you don't have to worry as much about scoring earlier, which can lead you having more econ earlier, and just generally I think checkered deck games end up being a little bit stronger on average. Right.
Especially that first ante, you just can kind of really greed it out, almost like it is a white stake run. Pass on jokers, look for vouchers that might kill you if you take on other decks in gold stake. You can really eke out a lot of value in those early checkered matches.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we're going to white stake, and it does look like, I think white stake was the choice from Neato's side. An immediate plasma hit from Nandre here.
Yeah.
No surprises. The one thing about a plasma deck run is that Neato does favor these tempo lines that, really aggressive, looking to take early lives from your opponent. If those late game jokers don't materialize, even on white stake, you can just kind of run away with a chips only game plan on plasma deck if that's the route you go.
Yeah.
We do see an immediate foil crazy joker, but again, you cannot pass on these standard or these buffoon packs. It's enticing.
No, it's.
But 50 chips is a lot. 50 chips clears the blinds, but so does everything on Ante 1 for plasma deck. So there is just, you have to take these buffoon packs, and this is exactly why. Now, unfortunately, both of these jokers are matched up against one another, but these are both pretty high priority takes. In multiplayer especially. So if you pass on one of these buffoon packs, you're missing the good stuff.
Right. Yeah. Which I feel like it like, I know it's important to get open to the buffoon packs, but it feels like you get punished for not taking them even more often than I feel like you should. I swear they just so often just have really important things in them.
Yeah, it's and immediately we see, there is a chance that there's another buffoon pack in the next shot, but if Neato does, she's potentially going to miss out on the two most important jokers in this first ante if there's not a buffoon pack in the next shop.
Yeah. And it's a little bit surprising to me, Nandre taking DNA over Dusk. I feel like I probably would have gone with Dusk there, but it's hard because DNA is really valuable as well.
Yeah, I would agree with you, in particular because this early, DNA is a little bit lower value. You don't really have anything to copy. And on top of that, because it is white stake, there's no joker pack, there's no buffoon pack here. That is catastrophic for Neato, just immediately behind a pretty important resource. Now, at least it's not the Dusk, because like we talked about, that might be the more important thing. And we see Nandre selling out just to get that that clearance sale that Neato could have bought with the extra money from saving that pack. But But again, back to the Dusk DNA, there's nothing really to copy here. In White Stake, you can fix your deck so easily. The DNA is just a little bit gratuitous.
Yeah.
In my experience, so I would just like the security of a Dusk because you do not want to be down a retrigger.
Yeah, 100%. That could be really bad. I mean, I think DNA, there's a potential for it to be higher value if we get like, you know, a red steel glass fairly early and there's not a lot of death. Like that's going to be stronger than a Dusk. But I think in most games, the Dusk is going to be more valuable.
Absolutely.
Like you said, it's pretty easy to come across that glass.
Now, it's a very helpful Chad for both players. But, you know, maybe Nandre getting rewarded for this DNA pickup with the I mean, it's an 8, but it's glass, right?
Yeah. Did he not take it? It looks like he didn't take it.
No.
I don't know if the glass thing's updated on the top yet, but it seems like.
Yeah, it does not look like he took it, which, again, what do we have that DNA for if not to print glass at this point, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I guess to print blue seals.
But yeah.
I mean, maybe Nandre is just fully committed to this being a high card seed. He's checked the flow chart. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows how multiplayer is played.
I mean, if we've got, I mean, yeah, DNA lines up for that, I guess. DNA line, that's a reason to not take Dusk if you're just gonna go high card. The thing is, if we keep taking these high card levels, the unfortunate thing about that is that's gonna mean that we're gonna keep, well, I guess not here, but like if we get 2 here, that might mean that we keep getting out on 1 on our DNA hand with that foil Chad, which could be an issue.
Yeah, that later, that doesn't matter now, but later it will. And then on top of that, we're just adding a fair amount of deck bloat initially. Now, it may not look like bloat because you are adding cards that you want to draw oftentimes, but, you know, say you do find a red seal glass, say you do find just a natural glass card that you're going to want to shift to copying, that's going to become harder to find later for that DNA hand. Typically, the way I like to think of it is, especially early on, a smaller deck is still going to be more consistent than a larger deck. So you want to, in an ideal world, you would pare down your deck first with something like a trading card, then start expanding it with the high quality cards that you now have thanks to a DNA.
And honestly, personally, I don't mind so much having a bloated deck with DNA if you've got a lot of good cards you're copying, but I do agree, like, we need at least, it can't just be a base king unless we're desperate to like we're living off of 4 of a kind and we just need more of our draws to be able to survive. Then maybe you do it, but I think that in almost any scenario you at least need glass or like a purple or a red seal. I don't think anything less than one of those things. Is worth it.
I agree, and I do like the purple seal pickups, and I'd like to maybe see some restraint on Nandre's side now that you have better targets for the DNA than something like that, just that baseline naked king.
Yeah. And I see Neato with the Constellation. I really personally do not like Constellation in multiplayer. I think it's one of the Jokers, maybe even the Joker. Well, no, I think red card's the Joker that suffers the most going from single player to multiplayer, but I think Constellation's maybe the second most. It just takes so much time, even on gold stake, but especially on these lower stakes, to become valuable.
Yeah, I think that's a great comparison to red card. Both of them share like similar problems in that not only just the speed at which they get online, but the money sink that they end up being, right? Like if you're just trying to beat anti-8, you're happy to spend, $4 for, 3 molts, or you're happy to spend $4 for, a 0.1 molt on Constellation just because you've got time to build it up. And, that starts to matter over time, and you progress with the blinds. In PvP, it's just too slow and it's too costly. But we do see Neato, again, that aggressive rolling early is in a great spot here. for that tempo game plan. She has Ice Cream, which is probably going to help her take this win here. And then even later on, as things start shifting more molt focused, we've got this Acrobat, which, you know, if paired with the constellation scaling, could be a big times molt hit, which, you know, does scale really well on Plasma deck if Nandre isn't able to find on scoring effects.
Yeah.
And Nandre, again, just going after those blue seals immediately.
There's no way that's good enough to have multi-comp, especially on an ace with no enhancement or anything. I don't know. If this was Gold Stick or something, I think I maybe more agree with that, but that just feels like, you know, like we were saying, too much deck bloat.
Yeah, and I do think that this could leave the even before I could get the words out, I'm proven right. This could be a good opportunity for Neato to take a tempo line and maybe just rush down Nandre here if, again, whatever it is that he's building towards doesn't materialize.
Yeah, because at this point, even if we get the good card, we just keep on adding cards to our deck. There's a chance that we don't end up finding it. Especially like when we got our purple seals, we might start being incentivized to not immediately use all of our discards, so it's a little bit of a tension. DNA is a great joker, but it can be so frustrating to have to use your discards at the start. There's so many things that you want to save your discards for. Or vice versa. Same thing with 6th Sense sometimes too.
Exactly. In particular, those purples, right? The purples that you want to copy and discard, like, there's a little bit of weird tension between the DNA and those purple seals.
Yeah.
And so I think what we want to see here from Neato is just maybe, I like this idea of playing 5-card hands with the hiker. The chips, you know, aren't likely to matter too much long term, but if you're going for this this tempo game plan, you want to get out of these antes quickly, and you want to preserve this Ice Cream so that you can maybe sneak another life off of Nandre here, who does, you know, have to use all those discards. Again, typical purple seal behavior, though. It shows up right when you're out of discards, but fortunately for him, that means he gets to copy it. So it'll be it'll be more hits for him later, even if it missed out this time.
Continue to build those high card levels. I mean, if we get Bear in mind, if this ends up being a high card game, Nandre will be very rewarded. But
even then, I feel like we're already over the threshold of the levels that you really need to get that off the ground, right? Like you don't need blue seals that badly to make the high card work. So it's
especially on Plasma deck.
Exactly. It's just because you don't get the extra benefit from the chips, you're only getting the +1 for each one. And I think Aegis, you know, it's not necessarily optimal for this type of build, but it is more than sufficient to just start the chain of multiplicative options here.
Yeah, definitely enough that I would not want to copy any more of our blue seals.
No, absolutely not. I don't even want to copy any more of these kings, to be honest with you. But Nandre disagrees.
Either.
I mean, if it does show up, it's going to, you're going to reliably hit those kings. It's just at this point, I think you have enough kings. I would rather start looking for higher quality kings rather than more kings.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think in like we were talking about the hiker plan with Neato, I think in most games that's not going to be enough. But Nandre I feel like really dug himself into a hole with the way he's been playing, that the chips plan with the hiker might just be enough. Like Nandre doesn't really have much momentum despite being up this DNA. We've just been copying. We've copied a purple seal a couple times, but we've mostly copied some naked kings and some blue seals, and that's just not enough to really build towards something meaningful for a win.
And I do think that gift card might have been Nandre's ticket back in this That's a lot.
Yeah.
If you let that cook, that's a lot of potential econ that is just gone now. And here, I think from Neato's side, again, if we're really locking in on these chips, I would like to see play a hand and wait. Force Nandre to force you to play a hand so that, again, this ice cream is a relevant part of your scoring right now. And it's important to recognize that and just kind of don't burn through it too aggressively if you don't need to.
Yeah.
That said, it's a tough balance to weigh between getting hiker value and getting keeping ice cream value. So
that's true. Like maybe we're like, well, the ice cream's not going to be long for this world anyways, and also like when we're getting 50 chips on every card trigger, that 70 from the ice cream starts to matter less and less. Maybe
exactly.
We're less worried about that.
Especially since the card triggers, matter a little bit more with the hanging chat as well. And we do see Nandre, again, typical purple seal behavior coming in again. And, the reward does end up being an opportunity to clone it with the DNA. But, I mean, that's a pretty big score difference to overcome here.
Yeah.
And on Neato's side, what this hiker does and what this Chad does is it turns that stone card into a legitimate threat if you're able to play it reliably. Again, if you're just locking in on the chips game plan, which I do think is a good game plan for Neato here, not only because of the situation that we're currently in, but just in general, going up against Nandre on Plasma deck, that's probably, like, you want this game to end quickly. So recognizing that and going for that game plan, that stone card could be a legitimate threat.
Yeah, I absolutely love hiker with stone cards. It's like, it's hard to imagine it's going to win the whole game. I mean, at least I would say from Neato's perspective, I wouldn't expect it's going to win the game. But from our perspective, seeing the rough situation that Nandre's put himself in, I do think that it actually has a very strong potential. Although, if we can really get these purple seals going, start making glass with them with the Chad, then that might just be able to make a swift transition over to. But then, like we're saying, the deck blow, we might not find the glass.
Right. Unfortunately, I can't get it. Ooh. And that's a great card. That's the wait. Did Nandre see that? He has no gold seal in his deck. He did not get that card. Roll reversal here, where Nandre is the one that doesn't see the standard pack.
Oh.
And that would have been, that's the card you want to clone with the DNA. Nothing else matters at that point. That is.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I mean, I believe that's the kind of card that Nandre needs here. Neato, maybe less likely to make good use of it by comparison, but, could help her get some decent separation here.
Yeah, Nandre is making a lot of money because with that golden ticket, copying.
No standard pack, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. The Hanging Chad golden ticket is just incredibly, incredibly strong. It just supercharges every single gold card in your deck. And, if Nandre weren't down to 2 lives here, it's so strong, it may be worth, like, using the DNA on some gold cards. But you need to find a way to get some scoring going. You are really far behind right now, down 2 lives, potentially about to go down another. And I do think that I do think the standard pack miss was simply due to Nandre snagging that grabber voucher a little bit earlier than was necessary.
Yeah, and we are copying the gold anyways right now because it is also on the purple seal, which makes it a little bit more viable. But still, soon we want to be out of that. Also, the dusk here I feel like is weird because it's like in the short term it favors Neato. However, if Nandre can really get some glass going with the DNA, get it off the ground, then it'll go back to favoring Nandre.
Yeah, the dusk is not the type of thing, like, she wants to see it because she wants it in her Joker lineup, but she doesn't want to see it because it, like you said, it gives Nandre a bit of an opening here. That, if glass starts to materialize, is going to be difficult to come back from unless she's able to, maybe find a way to generate and keep pace with the glass herself.
We might not be seeing it for Neato though. I don't think we're gonna see it. I think Nandre just making more money with his golden ticket. Not gonna be able to get down far enough to find it.
Yeah, 5 rolls to 1 in these shops already, and I think that Neato might be actually ahead of Nandre right now in terms of the blinds too. Yeah, she's going to hit the timer on Nandre and just does not see the dusk. We need to, if you're on Neato's side, we need to end this game before Nandre can figure out what to do with this dusk. And oh my god. Which way do we go here? We've got a lot of those purple seal 5s. We've got an obscene number of kings that that have a bunch of chips on them for some reason, maybe. And we've got the dusk, so Nandre just has every single retrigger that he could possibly ask for here.
I think I go hack with those gold cards right now. I think
that's what I was eyeing as well. Honestly, you could still do it, just part ways with the DNA. Say, you know what, I've got these purples now. These purples are both money and tarots for, you know, the late game. Money gets you like gold cards gets you money gets you tarots gets you deck fixing. I feel like the DNA is, especially down 2 lives, just giving up a hand for it. I don't know.
Yeah, in order to live, you know, we have 3 rounds left in the DNA. Well, I guess 4, but the final PvP blind doesn't matter. So basically, we can copy 3 more cards before we're just dead, unless we get something off the ground. So I think DNA becomes less valuable because of that.
I agree. I think that you know, DNA hasn't been super valuable this whole round until those 5 showed up. So, you know, you've got 4 of them already, and then a 5th 5 of spades. Just rolls past it though. You know, the hanging Chad with the golden ticket is great money already, but like the sock and dusk isn't going to keep pace with Neato's like chip forward game plan right now, I don't think, unless we get some glass cards into the mix.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even have a single one. Like, even if we had one, it might be hard to draw, but yeah. Honestly, as surprising as it is, I feel like I'm thinking this chips plan from Neato is just gonna win. Like, Nandre still has a chance, but it is getting really rough here.
Yeah, I mean, every single one of these PvP blinds is very critical. If you know, maybe one slight slip up from Neato here could open the door for Nandre to pick something up. But like, if we just compare the dusk versus the acrobat right now, the acrobat's going to be doing more, even though it's a measly 2x. Like, that's more than what dusk and even that sock is offering right now, because there's nothing to re-trigger.
Yeah. And I guess, like, if we get 1 glass card, then, you know, that's just, we got what?
Ooh, no.
Yeah, because we've got...
I thought we were building towards the acrobat. What are we doing here? Okay.
Well,
I think she briefly
right
forgot
now,
she got the grabber and has corrected course there. But okay, so here's...
I still don't think it would have done much anyway, since we are on...
I mean,
it's plasma.
With this polychrome jack coming into the mix now, that starts to change some things.
Yeah.
I think we just put the, like, sure, we'd like to unlock the 5 of a kind. I think but getting this jack played is still the better route, just because it's extra molt, it's money, it's like it's just a better score going the other way here. But Neato doesn't see it.
I don't know that it is.
Is it?
With how many chips, like, we're so on the chips plan, I don't think the molt catches up. But that's not enough though.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, The Molt scales a little bit better when you get to bigger numbers. I don't know if it would have been enough to beat Nandre there, but I think it might have been a better score just to like get those extra Molt hits, unless those cards have been hit by the Hiker more than I could possibly imagine. But even if the Hiker is your game plan,
it was a plus 50 on the King.
Okay, still, I would be tempted to just lead with that Jack. Still, my concern now though is that that life needed to be Neato's for this tempo game plan to pan out. And so there's going to need to be some sort of adjustment here, because the giving even just one extra life is a lot of time for Nandre to find some glass, to find some, even just steal at this point could do something with those high card levels if a mime comes in to replace the dusk. There's I mean, he is in a great position to find something like an ancient Joker. So never mind another photograph like you got last round. So there's, I mean, this window that Neato had, it was very narrow for Nandre up until that point. Now it's starting to expand a little bit, and the more time that's given to Nandre, the more opportunity he's going to have to find those missing pieces.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking that Neato was favored here with the chips plan until we lost that life, because I thought we'd still be taking it with the Hiker Chad, but I guess Nandre just... I'm not exactly sure. Do you know what gave him all his score there? I'm like, what in Nandre's deck gets him score right now? I'm not even sure. I mean, it was bonus card, maybe some bonus card retriggers.
Yeah, I think there's some, and maybe just some like lingering effects from the initial King of Hearts that was copied with the DNA still had the Hiker plus chips on it, but that's only one hit though, so it shouldn't be that much, because he sold it very quickly thereafter.
But yeah, if we did get like a couple extra chips and made that one, if we made that one into a bonus card with the Chad and the multiple other retriggers, I could kind of see.
Ooh, and
could give us that score.
Nandre really showing the desperation for just any form of like times Molt scaling, or just any form of scoring in general, and gives up the golden ticket for a Lucky Cat. Again, that's going to reopen the door for Neato here to find something here. Like that Lucky Cat plays a little bit better with her game plan right now if she had a higher density of lucky cards, right? We could get out of the hallucination after opening these packs, get that Lucky Cat, and now you've got 3 times Molt Jokers with, again, Sock and Dusk not really offering much in the way of score for Nandre right now.
And the funny thing is, I think despite having one less lucky card, she might still actually have a higher density of lucky cards just because of how big Nandre's deck has gotten.
That's true. Again, we've talked about the deck bloat, and it's, potentially becoming a concern. I do think that the DNA has maybe overstated its welcome. I mean, if you pick up a Lucky Cat, certainly you want to pick up this Acrobat when you're playing for the Dusk Hand anyway.
Yeah, but what do we drop for? I mean, we can drop the Cat, but if we really want to go into the Cat, that...
I think we dropped the DNA, and I think the DNA needed to go before the golden ticket.
No, that's true. Oh, 100% on that. Yeah, I think you're right.
Like, yeah, we don't... again, deck bloat is making it harder to find the gold cards, but we have a lot more gold cards than we do lucky cards. So, like, I do think that, again...
Yeah.
This DNA is just rolls past it. I mean,
that's gonna make.
And if nothing else, it's just better than the Lucky Cat right now, and especially when you're short on lives, like that could have narrowed the gap that, in terms of the aggression that Neato is able to apply here. If Nandre had picked up that Acrobat, that's one resource she has an advantage that would now be at parity and be. They'd be closer to even in terms of that type of scoring.
Yeah. And seeing how much Neato got off that Molt card, I feel like I was probably wrong. That I didn't see the number exactly when they compared, but certainly playing that Polychrome Molt Jack first gave Neato a good chunk of scoring. We hit like 90k, I think, or so in that blind.
Yeah, it's because it's not just like the the fact that it's a molt card, but it's also it being polychrome starts to push the needle a little
Right,
bit
put you
towards
together,
that, you know, valuing molt instead of chips. Because you do want to focus on ideally one over the other. So hopefully she recognizes that and maybe prioritizes that, like those jacks as the play here. Though we do see actually about the same number of kings and jacks in deck, and are immediately parting ways with the jacks. But I do think the kings are maybe hiked up a little bit more. Maybe that's where the preference is coming from on her end.
Yeah,
maybe
I think
now
so.
these 3 jacks will say, hey, I've leveled up 5 of a kind. I should keep the jacks, which she should keep the jacks because those jacks are, that, you know, that one jack is very good.
Yeah, just going for the 2-pair here, though. I mean, it's a good hand.
Yeah, and I do think...
I also really want to see her put the stone cards first.
Same. The stone cards are very, very valuable the more you hike them up, and just even score a lot when you play them with a hanging chad on plasma when you are chip forward like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we are getting the money off of this and getting honestly pretty good score compared to some of the other hands as a result of just that one lone jack is so strong right now. Because even though multiplicative scales better for plasma deck, you still do need some baseline flat molt somewhere. Usually where you want that to come from is your planet level. Something like this 5 of a kind is a good starting point for that. But when you're playing those easier to hit hands, you still do need that that base molt to go. And I mean, speaking of go, if we get some lucky card triggers, not enough though. I don't think, like, ×2 on the lucky cat could have been a ×3 if it were acrobat, and might have been the difference maker there.
Yeah,
it's a lot of lucky hits, but still lower than this acrobat. And in an ideal world, would have been paired with that acrobat and probably taken another life off of Neato, reaching, putting us at 2-2, and honestly putting Nandre in a commanding position. Instead, he's fighting for his life here now.
Yeah, I think that, this is a great game. It's getting really close. I think that Neato is probably in the better position, but it's like Nandre just needs, I mean, even like just one glass card, right? Yeah. And one
to
glass
be fair, though,
find, of course.
One glass card, depending on where it is, could benefit Neato as well. But like even just it activates Dusk is the main thing. It can compound because look at Nandre's inventory right now. You know, a single glass card is very, very scary. But you know, getting a little bit crowded with the inventory and not able to make glass, not able to find glass. It's going to be tough. And hopefully with that death, we'll now see Neato start to prioritize that jack, because that jack, getting another copy of that's like baby glass, right? Like it's not, 2x is a lot bigger than 1.5 when you start compounding it. But, you know, if there's no glass available, getting that polychrome copied is a huge deal.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that, you know, if we do find a justice that we can carry in with us, we can always make that glass, and then it'll really be popping off.
That's a great point. Glass is a much better enhancement than Empress.
Yeah. See, here if I'm on Nandre's side, I think I guess copying the king is fine. I definitely feel like I definitely would have liked to have used one of the deaths just so we can start going through these purple seals, and because justice is so much more important right now.
Absolutely.
Like we've had plenty of ways to copy things. we need the justice.
Yeah. And we're seeing something that you brought up early come to fruition here, where Nandre is just winning too quickly because of those high card levels. You know, you can be too strong in some instances when it comes to multiplayer and extracting value. Nandre just wasn't able to farm up these lucky cards because his high card is so highly leveled.
Okay, we do have a photo now, though, which I definitely think favors Nandre with the 2 additional retriggers.
Yeah, I think that that's going to be that is, I mean, we said it early, and that as soon as something multiplicative comes up, it's going to heavily favor Nandre. This is where that 1 life that Nandre did take off of Neato is so big. This game should probably be over right now. I think that I don't know if it would have been enough. It would have been closer if that jack were incorporated into that hand. And I think that, you know, where maybe like there wouldn't have been time for this photograph to appear for Nandre, who is able to much better utilize it right now.
I do think, though, that if Neato has death up top, if Glass doesn't show up, which it still hasn't, and we only have 1 more shot for it, if Glass doesn't show up, Neato brings this death with her and is able to put it on that Polychrome card. I think maybe with the 2 Polychrome jacks, along with the better Times Molt from Constellation and Acrobat over Lucky Cat, this still could end up going to Neato on the Molt side.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's a lot closer than the previous game was, just because she has the like the on-scoring Joker effects that were, you know, a gap for her in the past. And no, we are deathing the Kings again, over prioritizing those chips, I think, here, when the strong thing that we've got going now, there's no question that the strength is in Molt here.
Yeah, the photo completely changes the equation.
Yeah.
We've got to switch over.
And this is the trickiness with Plasma Deck. This is why Nandre is often so successful, and it is tricky. It scores very differently than every other deck in the game, but Neato does catch herself here and recognize that, and makes a good decision here. Gonna want to really preserve this Fool, though, because Nandre has a death on a Fool on his side, and, you know, is starting to make good use of those purples now.
Any Glass shows up, like, this is, Neato is another window here where it's like, you know, we didn't get it before the photo shows up, but we've still got these Polychrome cards. If any Glass shows up suddenly, I think that Nandre is in a much better position. Like, we'll probably continue to find more Glass and maybe more deaths with the purples, but if these Polychrome cards can just do it, and unless we find one in the blind, Nandre's still not going to have the Glass in the PvP.
Yeah, and unfortunately, slight missequencing here, using the death after or before the Lovers. I do think the Lovers was a great play there to get Flush House online, maybe start scaling it a little bit, going into this potentially last PvP blind. But like, now there's a Lovers in your Fool instead of where it could be a death. It's somewhat moot because you're probably forced to pick up all of these planet packs anyway, which is part of why I'm not a big fan of Constellation in PvP. You know, that could have been a big deal depending on, you know, when the next Fool shows up.
I feel like it's really going to come down to draws here. I mean, we saw Neato's score was higher. If we get both of those jacks, I think that Neato does just take this, but otherwise, and even if we do, you know, maybe Nandre, depending on how the purple seals pan out.
Yeah, the steal could make a difference for Nandre here. Also, the hand composition for Neato, I think we do need to, with this many, you know, hands and discards on White Stake, I think we do need to prioritize finding one of those big hands, like a Flush House, like a 5 of a kind. I think 5 of a kind might be leveled a little bit more, so should be the push even over Flush House right now.
Well, it would be, but it looks like on Neato's deck we don't have any other jacks in the deck, so we don't really have the option. We do. Okay. We have to draw it perfectly, but we do have a Flush House potential with the jacks and kings.
Yeah,
we draw both of our diamond kings.
That was set up last round with the Lovers, so there is the possibility there. But with only 25 cards, I mean, look at the difference in deck size right now. Should be pretty reliable, and I do like this full discard. Not settling for just good enough, looking for that big hand, especially when you're trying to set up the Acrobat in particular. Getting rid of 5 cards.
The deck
is
thing
perfect.
not totally. The deck thing might not be totally accurate because I swear there was not another Jack of Diamonds in there, and then we just drew one.
Well, there's definitely 2 because of the gold seal that she just death, and there's the flush house. We want to save that for the acrobat hand. That is a great draw, though.
I think this is probably going to go to Neato.
It's definitely going to be close. It might depend a little bit on those lucky card hits, and it might.
Yeah.
Because realistically, each the sock is a ×2, the dusk is only another ×2. Then it's a 1.5, and like you compare that to the 3 from the constellation and the 3 from the acrobat. That's just, I mean, that math is in Neato's favor. The steel changes things because that's a 1.5, and the lucky cards could change things. As we see Lucky Cat explode into 425, those are some really good lucky cards. That's going to take it here for Nandre, I think.
I don't know, because I don't think we had an acrobat when we saw the 2 million from Neato and with the plasma scaling, and it wasn't a flush house either.
You might be right. I thought it was I know it was a flush house when she played the Jack last. But I don't know if I didn't account for the acrobat maybe being missing there.
It's going to be close. Because that ×3 becomes about a ×9, and we have enough.
Just enough. Oh my goodness. What a great recognition there from Neato to recognize the importance of that Jack and shift your play patterns to accommodate. Very, very well played there. And really, like we said, that window was going to be gone. We saw how much faster the cat is scaling than the constellation. That's going to give a huge advantage to Nandre over the course if that game goes any longer.
Yeah. Dang. That was such a good game. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the last minute bolt shift and the last minute because we saw her almost copy the king and then hesitate and go, wait a second. No, I think this Jack is the play. And she went for it, and it was 100% was the play. 100% was the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good recognition. Great, and this is something that, again, we were critical of Neato in not only this match but like in previous matches, overcommitting to things and kind of tunneling in on those. Being able to break from what you had been doing, break from your routine of just playing the kings, to recognize that you have a better opportunity to play towards that Jack and taking good advantage of it because. Again, if you're still in the chip game plan, those kings are better. But as soon as that photo Chad comes into the mix, and as soon as you start getting that constellation off the ground and the acrobat into play, you need to focus on Molt, and she did exactly that to get there.
Yeah. Also, notably, as negative as I was, as we were about Constellation, Neato wouldn't have been able to win that last PvP without that 3.3 times that we did have from it.
It's true. And that, the Constellation is a pretty big part of that tempo game plan, right? Because if you're thinking about just your normal runs on Plasma deck, finding the pivot point from chips to Molt can be awkward in a lot of places because you don't really want to pick up flat Molt jokers along the way. Well, if you're scaling that Constellation as you're building up the blinds, you're simultaneously building up that flat Molt for certain hands along the way as well. And being, only 3 million off, that could make a big difference. That could, those early hands could contribute a little bit more than they might otherwise. And, and also, even if she failed to draw that flush house, a full house would have had some pretty decent base Molt too.
True. That's true. All right, well, it's going to be decided by the game 3.
It does look like we may be going right back to Plasma deck here on Gold Stake, and this is a situation I do not envy either of these players on. I hate Plasma deck on Gold Stake. In large part,
I kind of like it.
See, for me, the hard part is it's almost completely necessary in most situations to find that pivot point from chips to Molt, and it can be a very difficult line to toe.
Yeah, it can, for sure.
So fortunately, unlike your typical like Gold Stake runs, there is a little bit of wiggle room in terms of, you know, these players have 4 lives instead of just if you lose, you're out. So you can maybe mistime that and still be okay if you're able to, you know, still snag a life off of your opponent in the PvP. So there's a little bit more flexibility there, but you know, we could see play patterns like we just saw from Neato get rewarded very quickly on a gold stake plasma deck situation.
Yeah. I think that plasma gold, I think it's not often, but sometimes I would say maybe 10 to 20% of games, maybe even I'd say around 20% of games. Maybe it's a little bit less with the Major League rule set with how available glass is, but I feel like there is a decent portion of the time where the seed ends up being weak and chips does just get you there, even if you're playing like perfectly.
Yeah,
like, that's just the better route to go.
I mean, you know, Nandre's game 1 lineup with 4 copy jokers all looking at a clever joker could just be enough to to take this here.
True.
We see Nandre laboring over this early decision here. A lot of rentals coming into play as a result of gold stake. First of all, this popcorn or this ice cream is great. An eternal chat or photograph though is a really difficult pill to swallow as an eternal or as a rental as well. Like I don't know about this, and I also don't know that you need a rental ice cream this early just because ante 1 you're just breezing through these blinds anyway.
Yeah, I don't think I like the rental ice cream at all. I think that we can be like we can win in 1 without it, and by the time like that's just it's so much money. Rentals early on in gold stake multiplayer, like you can take them later on if once you got some good econs going, but early on they have to be insanely good. Like photo is, I don't even know that photo's there. Like it's I don't think it costs so much.
I think what I'm doing if I see this photograph in the shop is I'm praying that my opponent took it, and I'm just gonna blast away at them with chips while they bleed money. Yeah. That's my goal, and I think that's where Neato is going right now. That said, I don't know how much. Like, maybe this ice cream becomes money positive in this blind because you're able to get through in 1 hand a lot easier. So I think this is just a hedge against no chip scoring options being available to you. Not necessarily for ante 1 because every hand beats that, but starting ante 2, maybe 3, you know, you're looking at more score, and I'm just completely wrong here because it gets sold immediately as it becomes, as it's going to start to be relevant.
Yeah, I think if we were going to sell it there, we should have definitely sold it earlier, but maybe just recognizing our mistake a little bit too. Like, I still think that selling it there is probably the right move versus keeping it.
I think so too. I think that the money, again, especially if you're going for the game plan of I'm praying that my opponent is bleeding money, which kind of is the case right now for Nandre, then I do like, you know, having access to money. So that you can pick up those, you know, seeming like even a lowly Sly Joker is just so good right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do think though that like with this loyalty card, if this gets out for Nandre, we're in a pretty good spot for the PvP. We're just sudden already on the molt plan.
Right. Ooh. Now that's a curious pickup. That's a, you know, okay econ joker, but it's going to contribute to your scoring long term. Yeah, I don't dislike grabbing it. I mean, I'd be tempted to take it even as not as a polychrome, just so that I can get my money online again. Really play into that advantage that we have, but feels a lot better to take, knowing that it's going to, you know, if things go the molt route eventually, still will contribute to your score somehow.
Yeah. I mean, in the finals of minor league Balatro, Vagabond did end up winning the set, but one of the games that I won was because I took an eternal, not even polychrome, but on gold stake I took an eternal to-do list and he didn't. And granted, there's some seeds where you get completely punished for that. Because if better econ comes up and if it doesn't hit well, you're in trouble. But it can be very good.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we talked about early on, even just on Black Stake, that any Eternal, or nearly any Eternal that's on the line of being marginal as a pickup like that is very swingy in terms of the outcome that of that match, just because of, if you take it and nothing better shows up, you can be at a huge advantage. If you take it and a lot of better things show up, you can be at a huge disadvantage. So that's like those. I feel like those opportunities to get punished for an Eternal Joker are a lot more narrow on Gold Stake, though, because just quite frankly, the matches seem to take a lot less time because people are getting bullied by the blinds a lot.
Yeah. Also, we did finally get this Sly you've been talking about. However, it is unfortunately rental. So
yeah, I mean, everything that we need on both sides seems to be rental. I do think that Nandre is maybe in a better position here, just because. Well, that said, Neato did draw the straight with the Crazy Joker as an activator and the loyalty card queued up, but that means Nandre is going to draw that same hand with that same combination queued up, plus the smiley face, plus the photograph, and is just almost certainly going to take it as a result.
Yeah, I think so. Neato definitely, I think there's enough molt there that the molt becomes very relevant compared to the bonus from the... Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's either a molt or it's a chip game plan, right? It's clearly a molt game plan with the jokers that we have in this current situation, and Nandre has more molt, so he's going to get a better score as a result of it.
I mean, I think the chips were still even more there, but it's just enough that, if you got similar amounts of chips and you got a lot more molt,
you're right.
Even when it balances, you're in a better spot. Although Neato with the that's not good enough. It'll be close, I think, but
I mean,
not as close as I thought.
The Crazy Joker basically gives you the equivalent of 12 chips right now.
Yeah.
when the only reason it's relevant or was relevant previously is because of the loyalty card being online.
Right. Yeah, I feel like once. Oh, I don't mind this. Is that handy tags that say $17? I kind of don't mind that. Getting up to interest money seems not too bad here.
Yeah, I think, especially from Nandre's perspective, really, not only is he behind because of the rental that's, charging him money, but that's one less round where the rental can cost you money.
Yeah.
So you kind of dodge it.
Yeah. I very much like taking small blind skips when I've got a rental joker.
Right, because it's basically it's a money skip already, but then you're just adding another $3 to that money skip by not taking the blind.
Yeah, because Nandre has no interest, and we're not setting hands. We're just going to be losing money this blind, except for we might be getting some comeback money.
Yeah, this might be close for Neato. I think that it's probably a big enough hand that the scoring is going to get there, but that is not going to be the case for the big blind here. So this stuntman is exactly what she needs right now. I think that
yeah, that's really good.
If because of the photograph, Nandre is currently kind of just completely locked into the molt game plan, and this the stuntman is a good way that Neato can get underneath the molt with these chips.
Yeah.
And am I misremembering, or did Nandre lose a life here? Because
he did. Yep. Couldn't handle the blind.
That's just going to make the stuntman even more, potentially punishing from Neato's perspective. Obviously Nandre has it available to him as well, but is really, it's not going to do as much if you're splitting between molten chips, but you are still getting some score as a result of that. So, unless there's something that allows Neato to go heavier on the chips. Might still take another life here, but we'll see.
We took a skip for $5 from Nandre's side. I think part of it's probably just to have the loyalty card available for the PvP, but we do have to get it on the first hand.
Right, and that loyalty card, getting it on the first hand while making use of because in order to make the loyalty card do something, you need to get smiley face and photograph value, and that's going to be difficult to do while also picking up the stuntman. So it's going to be a difficult line to balance here. And we see Neato looking at the ceremonial dagger. I don't think that's something you want when you already have this the stuntman queued up for you. So I do like this restraint here. And Neato, look at the money spent here. Already off to a big advantage and has additional, funds in the bank over Nandre just because of the reluctance to take that eternal rental Joker.
Yeah.
And already struggling to find the face cards, gets 2. If Neato's able to find the straight on the loyalty card hand, which she does have 3 hands remaining, so wait, no, the loyalty card's just gone this entire round.
Oh yeah, it is. But I mean, we just need some better chips hand. Although we got a stone card on Nandre's side for one of the hands, I think that'll probably...
Yeah. I think that is going to be enough for Nandre to take another life. Will not lose a life to the blind for quite a while with the stunt man.
Yeah.
But, ooh. We say that, but this this is your last hand. You got to play the 2 pair, right?
Yeah. I don't think that's going to be enough. I think just the 2 high cards from Nandre with stuntman is just enough to beat this 2 pair.
I missed that Nandre still had hands to throw. Yeah, it's not even close.
There goes the loyalty card. I mean, that's good for Neato. Like,
yes,
we're not doing. We're not. Yeah.
Absolutely. And what else is good for Neato is having $42 to Nandre's 11. So if she can leverage that money lead, say something like a bowl would go crazy right now. She's able to huge get for Neato, but that's not far enough that Nandre's not going to see it. So that's just going to be a advantage over to Nandre in this case.
Yeah, that is really scary for Neato's long-term plan. I mean, like, it's possible that we find another photo and then we're up on money and we're still in a really good position.
Exactly. I think that's the best thing that can happen for Neato right now, is especially as she gets this death in the Fool, she's going to, have this money is going to give her the opportunity to better deck fix and better utilize a photo jag combo if it does show up, just because you need money to deck fix, and Neato has a huge advantage there.
Yeah, I also just think with that, like, we might, because the thing is, we've got photo chat on Nandre's side, but we really don't have much in terms of planet levels. I guess we do have the smiley face though, that helps quite a lot.
And it may be worth on Nandre's side to consider getting out of the stuntman now that you do have photo chat available, just so that you can draw those bigger hands, and then you don't necessarily need the planet levels as much if you're throwing 4 of a kind, if you're throwing a full house or something along those lines, so that you can actually get that base molt at a better starting point.
Yeah, it feels a little bit scary this early. I mean, not this early, this late into plasma gold. Like, is that enough? Maybe it is, but it probably is. And
look, this deck composition for Neato is, I mean, we want to keep this 10 with the strength available, but I mean, she's got a lot of jacks, at least 6 right now, could be 8 after if she hits these strengths. Already up to 7, could get to 9 now with the slightly better draws.
Also, being up this juggler makes it a lot easier when we've got the stuntman to actually find our hands, where it's going to be a lot harder on Nandre's side to do so.
I do think that if this photograph comes back around for Neato, that's going to put her in a very, very secure position. The problem is there's no guarantee that'll happen before she's out of lives. Here on 2 lives, looking likely that she drops another one here in the near future. You know, going to be tough to just simply have the time to find it.
Can hit a flush house or maybe a flush 5 with that sun, especially with a fool there up top.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, we are in the chips game plan. That is a lot of chips.
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
Really horrendous draw for both players, but that punishes Nandre a lot more than it does Neato.
Yeah, the hands are extreme for an interested. Ooh, we've got the bonus card with the chat here. I mean, this might just be.
Well, doesn't do quite enough, but another bonus card coming into the mix right now. You know, I wouldn't hate grouping some of these up. We could have. I think maybe looking to make a flush 5 here on Neato's side, because we do have all those jacks. That could be worth building towards. Could get the flush house instead.
Yeah.
And not with that route. That will be a 4 of a kind.
I think it'll be enough either way, though.
Yeah, these draws just not panning out for Nandre right now.
He's getting enough to, like, with the hands, you can deal with a little bit worse hands with Smiley Face, and is getting enough, like, pairs and such of face cards that it's kind of working out.
Do you think it would have been a little bit closer had we used the Sun card a little bit differently? There's still an opportunity with the Fool upstairs. There we go. I don't dislike this. Again, sometimes if you make a slight error, it's better to just correct that than, like, you know, try and save face. And I do think this is with 2 lives, I think it's better to just put up as much score as you possibly can here.
Yeah, I agree. I think sometimes I'm guilty of doubling down on my bad decisions because I'm like, oh, that definitely was worth going down below $20 for Herbert, because we want to take the Hanged Man here anyways.
Exactly, especially if you're on stream. You sort of contrive situations where it makes sense, where no, actually, chat, you don't understand that play makes sense. But, like, you know, there are situations where, you know, not being willing to admit that there was a better line and taking that line is worth the loss in value. Huge potential here for Neato with this riffraff. That could be her route to a photograph here. And we just saw, even without the photograph, she was competing with Nandre. That could win.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we have... Nandre, though, can onk on photo chat since they're both eternal.
Oh yeah, that's a no-brainer play. That's, unfortunately, probably going to swing things heavily back into Nandre's favor here. Does get this worse opportunity or the worst scoring option here, but I think just being up a Joker in the combo is still better than not doing it. Now, does still have to make a hand that has some baseline molt though, because the Smiley Face is no longer there. Rarin is crying in the corner, and getting 50k with 2 pair on a photo chat is just not gonna happen. Yeah,
there's a world where Nandre just can't draw a good enough hand, and because we no longer have the Smiley Face, it just doesn't. I mean, I guess the Chad, if you've got, like, the second Chad is ×4. If you consider that over the Smiley Face, all we need is, like, a full house for it to be better.
I mean, at this point, you're just playing the Stone card and winning with that.
True.
Because, like, because as we just saw, you need something, like, even a flush is better than the 2 pair that Nandre threw there, but a flush isn't good either. I think you just throw the Stone card first, and it probably gets you in striking distance. But now maybe you're committed to this flush house, and I think we're seeing a life drop from Nandre here. 4 is significantly higher than 2, but that's only 1 extra doubling.
Yeah.
This is the type of hand where I liked throwing the stone first, because then you at least, make more progress, so you need less score, right? It was a 4-card hand. You're looking to draw into a 5-card hand anyway. If you're going for the molt route, you don't care about the stone once you draw your good hand anyway. So like there's a lot of reasons to throw that stone card on the last hand.
Yeah. I feel like the full house is probably enough, but I'm not sure. We also, I guess, no, because
it's another ×4 over the, basically it's ×4 over the like 5K that was scored earlier. I don't know if that's enough.
Well, with plasma. No, wow, yeah, not even close.
Yeah, like that was honestly predictable. I think the stone card gets him there, and
yeah,
a rare lapse in judgment in terms of plasma deck scoring from Nandre. He is, he's supposed to be the plasma expert here, and we see Neato picking up, a Joker that I despise under most circumstances, but is pretty good here with the Turtle Bean, the Scholar. Comboing with the Stuntman in order to actually, provide some potentially relevant scoring here. That if Nandre can't draw his hand and is in a similar spot there, it doesn't matter that that he's got the double Chad combo right now, right? Like he has nothing to multiply.
Yeah, and the chips go with the Scholar with the flush house. That's quite a bit of scoring on Neato's
That's
side.
big, and that's that early game deck fixing that Neato didn't miss out on because of the rental Joker that Nandre is happy he took now, but also how happy is he if he's not making it through the blinds right now?
Yeah, and I don't know that he's gonna make it out, which is horrible for Nandre. If he doesn't make it out of this blind.
I mean, this is tough because the straight's not going to do anything. Like, there's no base molt there, and you just killed your opportunity to maybe hit a 4-of-a-kind kings.
Yeah. I think if we have one more ante, it still favors Nandre pretty heavily, but if Nandre's not getting out here, and he's not.
I think Neato has a very good opportunity to take this right now. I like this. I mean, she doesn't know that Nandre's about to lose another life, but, deathing this ace, I might be inclined to even take the death into the PvP with me. I like this. I think she's just in a position to tempo out Nandre here. Now, that Turtle Bean is huge for Nandre.
Yeah, if we can get... We really need some kind of suit change or a strength or something. A death helps a little.
Ooh,
a death definitely helps.
Maybe enough. Maybe I think that gets you 5-of-a-kind. That's probably going to swing things back in Nandre favored now.
Probably, yeah.
That's a big deal because you just need something like a flush 5, like a flush house, like a 5, even a 5-of-a-kind, just so that you're starting at something more than the baseline hands, right? Even that full house we saw starts at 4. A 4-of-a-kind starts at 6. You're not really multiplying a lot there with Photo Chat as your lone scoring tech, and Nandre immediately hits the 5. Had the potential for 5 queens here. I think you just commit to this.
I mean, is 2 4-of-a-kinds better when you got level 2?
Yeah, he's got level 2 4-of-a-kind. That is, maybe there's an argument there. But Neato's keeping pace right now and does have a reasonable expectation to hit that flush house. Can also leverage the stone card that Nandre has, at his disposal as well. It's going to be very close. It depends maybe on if Nandre hits 1 additional king right now, because these throwaway hands are going to be pretty brutal for both players.
Yeah, well, I mean, the throwaway hands with the
the stone card makes them relevant.
Yeah, and that too.
Ooh, big missed opportunity from Neato there, not putting the stone card first. Does hit the first flush house right now, though.
Yeah.
And Nandre's going to close that gap with a stone card pickup. That's good recognition here, but, is still a little bit behind somehow with the lack of Stuntman. One more ace for Neato could do it. Nandre did not hit that fifth or that fourth king to make a 5 of a kind. Is going to have to rely on the 5 of a kind, and we know that Neato can just keep pace with that. I think that she's going to take this here because that fifth king did not ever materialize. Maybe the queen is better now that I think about it, because it's a bonus card.
It is. So,
so we just want to copy that queen, and there she sees it. I think she's going to get this.
Amazing. Beating Nandre twice on Plasma is a serious achievement.
And once on Gold Stake, too. This is... like, Nandre has the extra hand, but like it's just not enough. It doesn't matter. Like, the photo chat photo had nothing to multiply there that whole time due to just Nandre's lack of econ as a result of the photo being rental, and Neato just focusing in on that chips game plan. Now,
it'd be absolutely crazy to see your opponents light up and see you beat photo double chad with chips.
I mean, important to note, we said it when it happened, the photograph was the better scoring hit for Nandre. I think we're looking at a very different situation if it copies photograph, because these scores are so tight. I do think that Nandre probably takes that, right?
That's true.
Like that's why you point your blueprint at the photograph when you just have photo chat combo at baseline.
Right. Yeah. 100%. Would have made the scoring weight, especially with the way Plasma works. It just compounds so much, and I think Nandre would have won there.
Yeah, and those past 2 games were really well navigated by Neato. There's maybe some hiccups in the first match, but she pulled it out. It's like you said, it's no easy task to beat Nandre on Plasma deck, and she did it twice. Yeah.
I think really, really good, like, reading the way that things were going with the seed. I think, not taking that Eternal Rental photo in this game, I think I 100% agree with that play. And then in the previous game, realizing that we needed to switch over Molt till Molt last second, copy that Jack instead of one of the kings. Some of the key moves that gave her these wins, I think, in these last 2 games.
Think another bit of great recognition here is having the Scholar playing the queen over the ace, knowing that it was going to score more with the Chad. That's another. I mean, look at how tight these margins are in terms of the scoring. That's a really, really important recognition to make. And then also on top of that, copying the queen for some additional chip hits. That's not an easy. I don't know that I would have made that play there. I think I would have just tunneled in on the ace, copied the ace, re-triggered the ace, and potentially left some score on the table. When margins are this tight, that could be the difference in the match.
Yeah, for sure. Man. Yeah, that turned out to be like a really good set. Those last 2 games were really, really cool ones to see.
Absolutely. Yeah, Plasma deck, does some weird things and puts people in weird situations, right? And we saw quite a lot of those between these 2 matches. So GG's to both players. Sure. I think it was fun. I don't know what the correct line is on that photograph there. I don't know that anyone can say what, like, objectively the correct line is, but I am glad that we got to see, like, such an important deviation immediately off the bat there.
Yeah, for sure, because that is both are completely viable. Like I said, I take the I would skip it, I think, but I wouldn't be confident in skipping it. I'm like I think that's the right move to skip it, but I could 100% be wrong. That is, I'm like,
right.
In my mind, it's like that's 55% of the time wins, but I don't even know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, how can you even calculate that? Especially with the insane thing with the Chad being so close to follow. Neato's got to feel like she made a huge mistake there in passing it up, but is able to overcome that with some creative plays and committing to that that aggressive chip game plan.
Yeah, and Nandre just not able to get any sort of good base molt. Like all we had was level 2 4 of a kinds, and that was the best we could get. Right.
Yeah. And that's the consequence of that early rental just bankrupting Him and I mean, at this point, his entire family line is going to be paying off those debts.
Yeah, just forever.
All right. Well, GG's again to both competitors. Thank you, Sizak, for commentating with me.
Yeah, and thank you too, Roffle. It was very fun to commentate with you. It was great.
Yeah, absolutely. So, some people on my side of things might not be super familiar with multiplayer content as much. So, if they want to see more multiplayer content, where can they find your stuff?
Yeah, my Twitch is Sizak, Sizaak. Same thing on YouTube. YouTube, I've got. I haven't done a gameplay video multiplayer in a while in there, but they do exist if you go a little bit back. And then I've also got like a podcast and like one tutorial thing for multiplayer if you're interested in that. And I am also going to be doing a little bit more multiplayer right now because I do have a best of 3 with someone that after I get a quick snack I will be hopping into. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck in your match. I'm gonna send folks over to you to cheer you on, but do follow Sizak. Watch. If you're watching the Major League Balatro weekly recap, he does a great job on that as well. So you've already probably heard his voice quite a lot. So stick around, watch Sizak, cheer him on in this upcoming match, and I'll see you nerds tomorrow.
Thank you. Really appreciate the endorsement. It was great casting with you again. So see you later.
Yeah, hope you get some sleep tonight and good luck in your match.
Yeah, I did that. Thank you.
All right, see ya. All right, do stick around. Sizak is a great guy. Has done the best Baron cosplay I've ever seen. Not currently doing it, but stick around, cheer him on in his match, and I will see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow's stream will start at the same time, and I'll be playing my match against Feinberg. So, gonna be a tough one again. See ya.